into puzzle of in terms of being the right person for your spouse. And in order to be able to meet the vision for your family that you're making, there has to be some kind of alignment. There needs to be alignment, right? So, welcome. My name is Eugenia Oshin, and I'm the founder of Healed Heart. And here we do a lot of one-on-one work, but we're branching more into group sessions and building communities where we can have these conversations continuously, not just on a one-on-one basis, because we need to have these conversations, especially as believers, right? We have been told that uh we you have to love a certain way and do this a certain way, respect a certain way. But if it's not God's way, if it's not based off of the Bible, grounded in biblical principles, then it's all wrong. Okay, so today we're going to be focusing mainly on biblical principles. All what we're going to be talking about today, tomorrow, biblical principles. Because one good thing about principles, excuse me, one good thing about principles is that it never changes. That's you see, that's the beauty of it, is that if um family A work with the principles, the biblical principles God has put in place, their marriage would produce the exact effects that God wanted it to, like whatever impact it was supposed to generate, that's what it will produce. Same thing with B. So if you neglect principles, you are someone that will in life. So I would say we need to focus more on principles. Um, yeah, so let's start. It's going to be a journey. We're going to be building a house today, right? Because we all live in a home. If you get married to someone, you bring them to a house. You both are going to live in a house. You're going to make that place a home, right? So we're going to be building a house today. But I want you to see it as a home, as your home. Whether you're single, this message is for anyone that's single, whether you're searching, like you're in a complicated situation, you're currently married and you're not sure. Like imagine after getting married and you're like, "Ah, it's getting boring, or like, what are we supposed to be doing? Like, do you get like you're just looking around in the walls, like, "Ah, okay, we wake up, we sleep, we eat. What next? Like we go to work. What's this? What's this about? Why am I here? Do you get? So this conversation is for you because it will give you perspective into what God intended when He thought of marriage, right? All right. So, okay, so let's just see where we're connecting from, and just as a quick icebreaker to help us set into the conversation today, where are we connecting from? Where do you hope to, and what do you hope to take out of today's session? What's your big expectation for the session? I know if you're watching this after, like as a replay or as a rewatch, um, try to take a break at this time just to get yourself ready. Pick up a book and a pen because you're going to be learning a lot, and we're not stopping. So, bottle of let's go, Avina, giddo of let's go. Okay, so just drop it in the chat, and then we'll start. All right. So we're going to be spending the next depending on the questions we get. If we don't get much questions, we should be done at the latest in the next 45 minutes. But if we get questions, then we'll have an additional 30 minutes for those questions. Okay, so I'll be answering some of the questions that I've gotten over time. I've answered a lot of them in this work that we're discussing today, what we're talking about today. And I wanted to just take our time to answer, where do you stand today? Are you married? Are you single? Are you in a complicated situation? What are you really right now? Because that question will determine a lot as to what you are going to do with the information you're getting from this workshop or the webinar, right? Oh, I see. Oh, hi, Paul, connecting from Nigeria. I hope to get to know how to be ready for relationship, courtship, and marriage. I really love that. Thank you so much, Paul. I hope you get all those answers today. Um, let's keep the chat rolling, okay? Keep it coming. So yeah, so for couples, right? The main thing I want you to think of, if you currently have someone you you actively know that, okay, this is my spouse, or this is someone I'm going to build a life with, right? I want you to ensure that the both of you, not just one person, the both of you are actually listening to this together. It doesn't have to be at the same time, but because you don't want to have the knowledge, right? And then you're trying to use it in your marriage, but the other person is not getting you. So that's why you have to be on the same page. You have to be on a level ground. So I want you to just pay attention to the whole slide, like the whole presentation, because I've hidden 7 keys and I have a gift. I have a really special gift. I believe it will bless whoever gets it. For whoever finds the 7 keys, and these 7 keys, they are the keys to open a successful marriage. So they are principles that I've hidden in this presentation today. When you find the 7 keys, I want you to write them down and email them to me at healedhearts25@gmail.com. The first person to find the seven keys gets the present. So it's not about perfection, it's about trying. I just want you to just engage yourself and kickstart your memory a little bit. Okay. So we'll do that, we'll do that at the end, okay? Just let me know. Okay, so here you will see 2 buildings. One is built on the sand and one is on rock. And if you remember, there's a parable in scriptures where Jesus used this analogy of a house built on the sand and one built on the rock. They are both houses. When they finish them, at first they all look stable, right? But guess what? When storms come, one falls down, one breaks apart, but one stands. And the only reason why one will stand is because it has a solid foundation, which is on the rock, right? And as believers, we know that rock is Jesus Christ, right? So Jesus is the foundation of every home, every of like marriage. Jesus is the foundation. And if you're building on sand, it means you're building without the right knowledge, you're building without the right guidance and assistance and counsel, and your marriage will crash, right? So that's the whole essence of this conversation we're having today is that as we talk about these things more, your foundation, your knowledge as to what does Jesus think about marriage, right? Well, how does Jesus want me to represent myself as a husband, as a wife in my home? Welcome, welcome. I see more people joining. Just let us know where you're joining from and what you're hoping to get out of the pick out of the session today. Welcome. I just we just keep rolling, okay? Because we have quite a lot to cover. And if you have any question, hit the chat box where you see and you see everyone, tap on it and select my name. My name, I believe it's Eugenia Oshin in the group chat. If you send that to me, it will come directly to me right now, or you can send it to the host, whichever, but just send it to me because right now I have my phone here and I can pull out the questions. It's anonymous. I'm not calling any names because I want this to be as transparent and honest. I want us to be vulnerable and have a true conversation where we can learn from. Okay? So all questions are welcome. Anonymous, especially, are welcome. This is a no judgment of zone. So just feel free, please. All right. So after the wedding, the house that's built on the rock would stand. Because why? Because they've prepared correctly. They've put in the right materials to ensure that their foundation is right. Those that have built on the sand, they focus more on the wedding day. That's what happens most times. In our culture right now, most people would rather just build on the fickle things that don't really matter. And then down the line, 2 years after they get married, 5 years after they get married, 10 years after they get married, they're having challenges that could have been avoided, right? And for some people, they have gone so far that they've gotten to that point where they feel like they don't need anybody, they just need to separate. Do you get where wisdom could have come in and helped them? Someone could have given them an insight that could have helped saved their marriage. Okay. Oh, hi, Favor, joining from Canada. Nice to meet you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. All right. And now we talk about thriving marriage. What's a thriving marriage? It's a marriage that's successful. And a successful marriage is not defined, it's not a stamped, oh, it's not the same for everybody. In terms of living peacefully and in love, it's constant. But in terms of the vision of the family, of that home, of that marriage, it is specific to each home. We'll get to that in a bit when we're talking about the roles of a husband, the roles of a wife, how can they work together to ensure that they actually build something solid. Because if you don't understand roles, you would probably be doing the wrong thing. You might be doing what your husband is supposed to be doing, or you're doing what your wife is supposed to be doing, and it's all mixed up, right? Okay, so a thriving home, like we know, is built. You can't just stumble into it. That's why we have to intentionally ensure. Oh, hi, hi. If you're joining in, just let us know where you're connecting from and what you hope to learn from today. Welcome. And we're mainly talking, we just started not too long ago. So we're doing the introduction. And we know that marriage is not, it's not something that you just do abracadabra and you just surprise. Now we're in a happy home. You'll be shocked that somebody that looks as sweet and peaceful before marriage, marriage brings out the worst in people. If people are not, if they don't receive the right wisdom and insights before they go into it, they will make the wrong choices, not because they want to hurt their spouse, but because of ignorance. So, yeah, so today we're going to be building. Hi, Manuela, joining from Nigeria. Welcome, welcome. Tonight we're going to, or if it's morning in your place, we're going to be building a house today, okay? And I want you to look at this building. When you look at the building of the house, I want you to look at each part that has the dotted lines. I want you to look at it very well because we're going to come back to this design at the end. After we finish, we're going to come back and you look at it again with all the knowledge you've seen. We are going to now build it will help you consolidate everything you've learned. So purpose, which is number one, that's the foundation, that's the base, the very first place, right? The design, which is the walls, we see it, right? And then number three is connection. Maybe I could have done a better job at, I'll figure it out. Maybe when I send out the final slides, because for everyone that joined today, you would be able to get the rewatch, the video, but you'll be able to access it through Nestuge, okay? So the repair is after the building, after we've built the connection. Okay, I think we didn't speak about connection, but connection is the rooms. So how you have the dining room, the bedroom, the bathroom, everywhere. Each room in the house is for a purpose, right? Same thing with connection. Every time we connect with our spouse, I don't know, my battery is might be low right now. Oh my God. Okay. So I would take a break in a bit, not now, but when we're doing our games to charge my laptop. But I want us to just stay focused on this is, but can't register through Nestage. Can I share the link directly with him? So he can, because he won't get the final link. If he can try tapping on, there's a place that says get access on Nestuge. When you tap on the link, if he taps gets access, he should be able to get in to just register so I can have his email so I can send the final video to him. Do you get? But in terms of for this meeting, yes, you can share it with him. That's perfectly okay. Okay. So for oneness is that spirit of the home now. So what surrounds the home, the atmosphere of the home, that's oneness. And is the finishing touches. When you think of a house now, it's you putting a chandelier or putting like a beautiful uh, pot of flower or plants, just making the home beautiful, putting a nice couch here and there, right? So first, the foundation, which I believe is the core of every home. And when we hear of foundation, we think of Jesus Christ. And guess who can we just think of who was the person that Jesus? Oh, thank you so much, baby. Thank you. Who was the person when Jesus was saying in Ephesians that he should replicate him? Was it the man or the woman? Okay, okay, you're almost close. Yes, he's the chief cornerstone. But now let's bring it to the home now. Thank you for that. So when uh who in the home is meant to reflect Christ? Can we just try? The man, thank you very much. The man. So if we think of this, and I want you to remember this as if you're a man here, I want you to take this so seriously because if you understand this, you would have such an easy and a peaceful life. And your children, it will be easy for them to make relationships in the future because they've seen their father live this life, which we're going to talk a lot more about self-leadership in our next session, how to become that builder, become the person stable enough to be a good husband, to be a good wife, and you in turn become a good parent, right? So the man is the foundation. He is the whatever it is. You know how like in the African culture, when they say, oh, the child is doing well, they say, oh, it's the dad. When the child is not doing well, it's the mom. In kingdom, that's not the case. The man, if it's going well, it's because of the man. It's not going well, it's because of the man. So it means we're going to talk more about why, but it's me. I want you to keep this because of vision. Oh, just let me know if you can still see me and hear me. Okay. But I want you to remember this as a man. You are the foundation of every home. And if you're not close to Christ, if you don't know Christ, it will be difficult to form a solid foundation. You will be building on sand if you're building far from Christ, right? And then the design, that's the walls, the one that wraps around. I see it as the woman. That's where we come in. We're going to read the scriptures as to where the woman comes in terms of from the start, the first woman that was created, Eve. So you come in, you make the home warm, you nurture, you take care, you ensure that everything that God has, that the vision God has given your husband, you now help him. So you're a helper. You are not the one that will think of the vision. You are not the one that will come up with the vision. Your husband will stay with God until he gets it. That's why you must have a vision before you go and ask someone to marry them. Or please have a vision, what you people can work on together. Do you understand? So you as the woman now, you come in and you surround as the wall because now you are to protect that vision that he has. Do you understand? So you cover the foundation and then the connection. The connection is now your continuous effort to maintain that house so it doesn't break down. Before we come to repair, because yes, there comes a time where you have to repair. Let's say you have to change the light fixtures or like the sink, or let's say part of the house is chipping away, like your towels and all those kind of things. You can repair, but connection, I want you to think of it as maintenance. When you maintain properly, you don't have to repair. Hi, Ikea, joining from the US. Lovely to meet you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so in terms of repair now, repair is now okay. Let's say because no marriage would be without arguments, no marriage would be without conflict, but it's how you people bounce back after that, right? And how long it takes to bounce back. Because for some couples, they have arguments, but the repair is so quick that you will never know, there's never a friction. Do you understand? So those are all the skills that we are I'll probably put up more sessions where we can discuss specific skills in terms of like communication, in terms of like conflict management. We'll touch a little bit of that here and there, but in terms of like in depth, right? We'll discuss that in another session. But for today, let's focus in. Then oneness. Oneness is the atmosphere. Remember that. How does the home feel like? Do you understand? How does it feel like? What's the fragrance? When someone meets your husband, comes into your home, what's the fragrance? And I don't mean physical smell. I mean, what's the atmosphere like? How do they experience you guys as a couple? Okay. So Proverbs 24, verse 3. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I did this to myself, but my scriptures, yeah. Yeah, I would. I'm not perfect, but God will help us. We're starting and we're starting strong. God will help us. So Proverbs 24, verse 3 reads, through wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding, it is established. Through wisdom, a house is built, and by understanding, it is established. So without wisdom, there's no way. And all of you that are here, I want to celebrate you because it means that you cherish something that's beyond the physical. You want to gain the extra knowledge that you can go into marriage and you can succeed and thrive. And I want to really commend you for that because when you seek wisdom, you build correctly, right? And then in terms of understanding, is that as you're seeking as you're getting this wisdom, picking all of these things up, your mindset begins to change. Your understanding of life begins to change. Your understanding of your role begins to change as in the home. Your understanding of marriage and what it's supposed to be begins to change. And guess what? Then you people become established in terms of you now have a more wholesome life. Do you understand? So that's a beautiful scripture. And I think, yeah, God is so amazing. Like the Bible is so full of Amazing wisdom. So here is the blueprint of the house, and I want us to remember this for we're going to come back to this page, but this is the blueprint. When God created marriage, this was what it was supposed to represent. So that number five, the oneness, now the glory of God. So the presence of God is continuously supposed to be experienced in that home. When someone comes into your home, and let's say they have a challenge, right? I'm not talking specific now. Even if they never mention it to you, let's say it's an emotional challenge, right? Whatever it is, just coming into your space, they should pick up healing because just from seeing you and your spouse interact, seeing you and your spouse do your own thing, instantly there's healing in them. Do you understand? Because they know that there is a possibility. Because what you see, it shapes your possible. What you see as what you see shapes your possibility in the sense that whatever you allow your mind and your eyes to soak in, right? It now starts shaping what you think is possible. So when you see beautiful homes, you know that it is possible to have a beautiful home. And I want to encourage anyone that's not married yet. Marriage is a beautiful thing. I want you to, if that's one thing you remember, marriage is a beautiful thing. It is beautiful, but it must be done right. That's the only time it's beautiful. Okay? All right, let's keep rolling. So our stage one, this is the foundation stage. It's the purpose. This is the purpose of the home. So we're pouring in the our concrete just to help with the foundation, make it solid. And in this part, we ensure that all the ingredients. So this is where everything now that you're learning here, when you're starting, you and your wife, you ensure you build correctly. And this is before you say I do, because during your courtship, you can already see the problems and the signs that will come out in your marriage. And if they are not resolved during that courtship time, guess what? You will meet them times 10 in marriage, right? So we know that where purpose is, there's direction, right? Where there's vision, there's direction. But when we don't know the purpose of a thing, guess what's going to happen? We're going to abuse that thing. So if you don't, if let's say you don't know what marriage is supposed to be, like you don't know what am I doing here? What's it about, right? It's very the probability of you misusing and abusing your partner is very high, be it a male or a female. It's very high, right? And I'm going to be doing a lot of most of my references will be from Dr. Miles Monroe. He writes really amazing books, mainly on the keys of marriage. And the person that's getting the gift, you get, yeah, we'll talk. But yes, please, as you're listening in, there's a game going on, actively going on as we're going through the sessions. The person that is able to pick out the seven keys that could open a successful marriage. So those seven keys are the principles, biblical principles embedded in this whole presentation. If you can pick out the seven, I have a special present at the end of it. Just send an email of the seven to healedheart25@gmail.com. Okay. All right, let's keep rolling. So here's a grand piano. Imagine using a grand piano as a dinner table. Have you thought of that? Imagine you have a bowl to maybe prep food and you use it for a shower to take your shower, right? Guess what? You've ruined it. Same thing if you're eating on a grand piano, you've ruined it because water has gotten into it. Even if you don't ruin it, it's not sane, right? To on a grand piano that is so expensive. It can bring out such beautiful music and sounds, but you're using it for what it was not created for. Do you understand? So, yeah, the manual for marriage exists and it's in the Bible. It's the Bible. The more you study, the more you learn, the more you dig deep into the word, right? The more it shapes your Christian life. The more it shapes not just your Christian life, but the way you interact with the world around you, with your spouse, with your colleagues, with your siblings, with your uh whoever, your employees, whoever, right? So that's why we need to one thing I want to encourage you, and one thing I'm hoping you can be, what's the word? Yeah, one thing I want to encourage you out of this is spend more time with God. As a man, as a woman, spend more time with God because the more you spend time with Him, the more He shapes you into who He wants you to be, right? And we know in the beginning, God He created every one of us, right? And in Genesis 1, verse 26, that was where he created man. Genesis 1:26. Let me read it. I'm reading from everything. I'm using the NKJV. I'm so sorry that I don't have it pasted on the screen. It would have made it more like engaging. But Genesis 1:26 reads, Then God said, Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over, listen, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Right? So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Are you listening? Male and female. He created them. So if you have the concept of, oh, it was just man that God created both of us at the beginning. He created both female and male. So if ever you as a woman felt like, oh, you are substandard, you are an afterthought, you're not. He created the both of us. You came from the man, but guess what? God had already, because the amazing thing. Okay, let's not get too distracted. Okay. So in terms of uh dominion, it's leadership, right? So we're to lead fishes, animals, everything, except God did not tell us to dominate humans. And that's why I said, listen, because as a man, I want to break that myth, that common myth that, oh, I'm the I'm the one that's supposed to, like, we can almost take it in an abusive way where we are saying, oh, we are supposed to dominate, we're supposed to lead and like oppress the woman. One beautiful thing is God is so intentional in his word. If he meant that you should dominate a woman, he would have written it there. So leadership starts with self. Until you've led yourself properly, you can't lead any other person, right? So as a man, once you learn leadership from God, see how God leads us, right? The way you live your life, your wife will have no choice than to submit to your leadership. She will have no choice than to reflect that which you're showing out there. Do you understand? The light that you're showing, she reflects it. And that's true leadership. And that's one thing I've really learned from Dr. Miles Monroe is that he would tell you the way it is, right? But he lives the life. Is that leadership is shaped more by sight, how you live your life. Like what I'm seeing you doing, that's what would make me decide, do I want to follow you? Do I want to listen to you? Right? All right. So, yes, God created the both of us, both man and woman in the beginning, right? And then Genesis 2:24, that's where we're now giving extra key to the beautiful union that we have now called marriage. So it says, uh 24. Okay. Therefore, a man shall leave. So this part now is for my dearly beloved men. Therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Right? And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. And naked here is not talking of like nudity. It's talking of they became so vulnerable and so like they became so like they are one and they could not hide anything from each other. They became so open with each other. And that's a key sign. If you're not in a relationship, if you're single, watch out for this sign. I think that was one thing my husband and I were really blessed to have as friends is that we're very vulnerable with each other. And when I mean vulnerable, I mean like sharing how you truly feel, right? So you can actually know this person you're getting to meet. Because if someone is not vulnerable with you, it's a risky place to be as a spouse, that you become a husband and wife. You have to be with this person, live with this person, build with this person, but you don't truly know them, right? That's why vulnerability is a key sign. If you notice that you just find it easy to share, and when I mean share, I mean appropriate things. You find it easy to share things that are heavy on you or things that you've experienced, how your life has been. If you've hidden it from every other person, but there's this one person it's easier for you to share it with. Just watch that person. Do you understand? Vulnerability is a key sign to know who is for you. Like, yeah, I just gave away a tip now, but yeah, you're welcome. Without paying me for free. I know. Thank you. My single people in the house. I see you. Okay. So, now marriage, the whole reason why God created marriage, right, was to bring glory to his name. Everything he created was to bring glory to his name. Specifically marriage. Do you know why? Do you think God was not intentional when he created man and he put man to watch the garden, to tend after it, to care for it? Guess what? He now thought, oh, there's a woman too that would come and help make his life easier. Why would God, of all things I created, will now think, oh, marriage will now be such a big deal that he will bring it at such, like at that time, not later on after he has, like, do you get? Because God loves companionship. God saw that man was alone, and he was like, just imagine how much God loves us. Ah, man, you people are so God loves you people. He said, this man is alone. Let me send him somebody to be a friend to him, somebody that can know him, love him. They can each of them can love each other. They can just relate. Do you understand? It's a beautiful thing. That's why I'm saying marriage is beautiful. So don't let anyone coerce you into marriage. That say if you don't marry now, it will never happen. No, please. It's a beautiful thing. So when you're going in, you should go in without fear. You should go in, it should be easy. Do you understand? But yeah, that will be another conversation for another day. My single people, clock it. I have something planned for you guys. But okay. So God created man, one first. And then guess what he did? He created a woman and then he made them a couple. Clock it. Thank you. Like someone is following. Someone is following. Say clock it in the chat if you're here, if you're not sleeping. Okay. So he started period. I love this. He started with one, then he made another, then he made a couple, right? And it was intentional. It was for companionship. It's so the both of them now can commune with each other. They can experience God together and bring glory back to God, right? So your marriage must bring glory to God. That's one thing I want you to remember. Um, God leads you. I love it. Clock it. I'm seeing some millennial people writing their clock it. Oh, my screen. Is that normal? Okay. I'm seeing some millennial people clocking it in a different style. But yeah, it's all welcome. Clock it. So he leads you to someone, right? God brings people your way. And I gave you a tip already. Vulnerability is a big part of it. But in order for you all to now start shaping, in order for you to now become that person that is compatible and suitable for the spouse God is building on the other end of the world, is that you have to submit yourself to God and allow Him build you. Do you understand? So Amos 3 reads that uh I think that's a verse that says can two work together except they agree? Yes. So can two work together unless they agree? And it's not possible. That's why vision is very important because when you have a vision of what you're working on, right, that work becomes easy. There was a couple that defined it as a dance. So a dance is like, imagine you're dancing like the kind of dance I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like like I'm talking about like couples dance where you have to be in sync. There's a way they dance. There's this dance they do. There's a dance they do. You know the dance they do in weddings where they have to match each other's energy. If not, you'll be stepping on the other person's feet, you will step on her dress, you'll fall, you will do this. Do you understand? So there has to be a sync. That's the way marriage is that if you are not in sync, guess what? You will be stepping on each other's toes and there'll be friction. And before you know, somebody will fall out. And both the marriage drops, divorce happens. Do you get? So on can two work together except they agree? No. So two must agree. All right. So true love is a decision and it's a commitment. And that's one thing I want us to know. Even in I think we'll get to that part, the definition of what love truly is. It is a commitment each day. Personally, I'm married, right? And I would be lying to you if I say, okay, every day I wake up, I just want to be the best wife. I want to be the best everything, right? No. There are some days that it takes prayer. I'm praying, God help my heart. God help me. God help me be the best version of me. God help me be a good wife to my husband. God help me be a good mother to my child. Do you understand? Because some days life can be so heavy some days and you're just like, oh my God, I'm tired. Do you understand? But I think that's the beautiful thing about walking with God is that when you walk so close with God, it helps you on this journey. So when whatever it is you're getting from your spouse is supplementary. Do you understand? Because you don't want to be so far away from God and you're all dependent on your spouse. That's not good. Our first obedience is to God, and then our commitment is to God and then to our spouse, right? So it's not a feeling. It's not a mushy. If you go into marriage with love, the feeling, you will struggle. And I can tell you for that, for sure, you will struggle. Because there will come a time where you'll be asking yourself the questions of, if this person really loves me, why are they doing this? Oh, if this person really loves me, why are they not doing this? Oh, do you get? Like you keep asking that question, and it's not the right mindset. It's not the right question to ask, right? So we're going to define love. So we truly know what love is. Okay? It speaks louder than actions. So it speaks louder than words, I mean, my bad. So in terms of if you say you love someone, your actions should read it much more like it's not about you saying, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's that your actions, it should be. So if let's say words, you're saying it to them, it should be 20%, but in showing it, it should be 80. Do you understand? Because that's a life. Love is supposed to be a life. It's supposed to be a lifestyle, who you are. Not necessarily like you pretending and today you say I love you, tomorrow you are you are cursing the person out. You are beating the person up, right? That's not love, right? Okay. And just a side note, period. For those of us that are married in the group, my husband, I was just saying, oh, I need to charge my laptop during the game session time. Guess what? My husband came to help me charge my laptop. He brought the cord for me and plugged it. So I didn't have to get up from here. You see, marry well, my people. If you're single, marry well. And if I'm not trying to rub it in anyone's face, but if truly you're not enjoying your marriage, go back to the blueprint. Go back to the blueprint. And I will take us back to that page. The Bible has solutions for everything. You can repair, you can have a blissful home. You have to believe it. Your spouse has to believe it. Then repair can start. Okay? So enough of the counseling. Let's continue. Let's continue with our slide. So First Corinthians 13, verse 4 to 8, it's the passage that teaches us what love truly is, right? Because if you are about to leave your mother and father to ask a woman out, please ensure you really love her and the right way. And if you're a woman and you're about to say, I do to a man, you're about to say, yes, I'll marry you, please ensure you truly love him. So this is the criteria you use to check if you truly love them. Okay, First Corinthians 13, verse 4. Love suffers long, and love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not pride itself. It's not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, it does not seek its own, it's not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, which is like an evil, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails. But yeah, so I'll just leave the other part. If you're like, okay, I'll just read it. Love never fails, but whether there are prophecies, they will fail, whether there are tongues, they will cease, whether there's knowledge, it will vanish. So it's just saying that love stands solid. You need to have love at the foundation. So in that mortar that we're mixing now to put in the foundation of our house, if you joined us earlier, if you didn't join us earlier, I'm sure you are like, which foundation are we talking about here? We're building house right now. Before you know, we're in our skyscraper. You are like, but no worries. You can go back and rewatch after. In that mortar, love has to be there. If love is not there, you're not building it correctly. That one you're building is for the devil. And I'm telling you, I'm being sincere with you because we know Jesus Christ is love. right? So it means whatever it is, wherever you are, who you are, you now have to become love. You have to be that love so that by the time you're going on this life with someone else, you can actually express love as a like it just comes effortlessly. It's not something you are thinking of, oh, how do I do you understand? But it doesn't come natural to us because as man in a fallen state, love will not come natural to you. So you have to depend on God. That's why I say you have to stay close to God. Stay very close that you now start, you know how like when you stay so close to something that has a stain, and before you know, by the time you remove your own cloth or your hand, you have the patch on your hand. That's how close you should stay that you can soak in who Christ is. Do you understand? And print it on every sphere of your life, especially your home. Especially your home, because one thing we will realize that the home, if as a couple, as a husband, as a wife, your primary responsibility is to your spouse. Do you get me? So if you can still hear me, let me just say yes, yes, yes in the chat. Let me see. Can you still hear me? Can we all still hear me? Hi, everyone. Can we hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So if, right, you show true love and truly who Christ is in your relationships, they just see mommy and daddy having such a wonderful experience in their marriage, in the home. Home is so loving, peaceful. When your children go out into the world, when they see something that's not love, guess what? They won't doubt themselves because they've seen what love is. That's been shown. Do you get? And even you too as a person, if you have so much peace and love at home, by the time you go outside and you see the world being chaotic and everything and being wild, you know that you still have your ball, right? So now we're going to be working on the walls. Okay, so the same image, we're building the wall now. So the man represents the blue one, and then the dotted lines, the red, the terracotta, represents the woman, right? And when God created us, He didn't create anyone as less than the other. We were all created in God's image. If God picks one woman right now that's working so closely with God and she represents God here, she is identical to who God is. And when I say image, it's not like in physical features, though. Like the representation of who you are in your being, in your person, is that you represent God. Do you understand? So we created the only difference between when God created man, it was when He created man, it was man and woman He created. I want you to see it this way, right? In the woman now, He made her build. Like if you see the build of a woman, it's different, right? Because God is very intentional. The purpose of why He created the man's body, the shape, and whatever, different from a woman, it's very intentional. You get God will not just do things anyhow. Like you not, no, He's too intentional, too intentional. Do you get? So I don't want any woman in this group chat here today. I don't want you to think of it as less, that you're less. I don't know what you've seen. I don't know what the world has shown you. I don't know, but you are not less. The reason why God made the man the lead, the head of the home, is for what do they call, oh my God, I'm mixing my the reason why God created the man as the lead, as the head, is for other sake, the sake of other. You go into any organization, there will always be a lead ahead. Why? Because if you're working towards one vision, one goal, and you don't have one head, one person that says, this is where we're going, this is how we get there, and they show you the way to get there, guess what? You guys will be going in different directions. So that's why God put the man as a representative, of which he has a greater task, a greater assignment than the woman. And when I say this, I mean in the home. You, as the man, I stated this at the start, at the beginning. You are the one to reflect Christ. If your wife, let's say she's not doing, like she's not as, let's say she's not as sound spiritually, or in her physical life, she's lacking, wherever it is that she's lagging behind, you as the man, you rise up to the task. And her seeing you, you are encouraging her Oh, baby, follow me to the gym. If let's say, because that's some of the issues people have right now. Oh, you say your wife is out of shape. Why not encourage her? You go to the gym together. You both go to the gym together, right? You say she's not spiritually sound. What altars have you created in the home? Prayer altars or time that you people spend, you just block a certain time of the day where each all of you just sit and study the word. Do you understand? So there's a way we can walk, and we think of it like a dance where we can work with each other so well that we are elevating and we are, what's the word? Each person's life keeps looking beautiful as the year goes by, not worse. Not because that's one thing. Okay, we'll talk about it when we're talking about the role of the husband. Just so I don't forget my train of thought, is that the man, as you reflect Christ, your wife, she absorbs that and she reflects Christ because of you. Do you get? Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. We've gone a little far, but welcome. Let us know where you're connecting from and what you're hoping to take out of today's class, today's session. We're currently building our walls out, our rooms. We've talked about the foundation, we've talked about the walls, and now we're building the setting aside our rooms, right? And we'll go back to that same slide so I can give a brief summary at the end. So don't don't feel like you've missed out on so much, okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So God created us. We're built different, but we are the same in the image. When we all on the like as an individual, as a woman, as I am, I God expects me to reflect Him here on earth, right? But guess what? I don't look like my husband. I am not my husband. Do you understand? So same thing with my husband is that you're different, but you're the same. Do you get? In image, you're the same, but in your build, you're different. So that's why our roles are also different. Do you understand? All right. So let's go. So our design is what's this is what's distinct, and we're equal in worth. So you're worth more than a million each person. All right. Okay. So two deep desires, one home. Why? How? Why? Because for a woman, what she desires the most is affection. And the moment you understand this as a man, your life becomes easy. And I'm being sincere with you. I want you to look at this and I want you to just absorb it so much that when you're interacting and working with your wife, just keep thinking of all these things. If you can reflect this, I'm telling you, you have an easy home. You have a very easy relationship with your wife. Affection. So that's what she desires the most. She wants you to be tender with her. When we read about what love, when we define what love is, we define love as it being patient, love being kind, love does not hold like a grudge. Love does not like because if you don't understand the foundation of what love is, you won't know how to walk with your wife. God instructed the man, the husband, to love his wife, right? So that's why you need to keep sitting in that definition of love until you truly understand it and until you reflect what love truly is in your life and to your wife. You won't like, okay, so let's just continue. Affection. So be tender with her, be gentle with her, be understanding with her. Don't get upset at her as like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, you can see areas where she needs to work on. Let her know. Do you understand? With love, consideration, be considerate towards her. When she's pregnant, take care of her, right? Think of things that she would need in her life, in her career. Be a help, like uh a support. Let her know that she has a husband she can rely on. Do you understand? And be patient with her because we know love is patient, right? Pray over her. When a woman knows that her husband prays over her, he prays for her, guess what? Because he's a priest and his words carry weight. We as believers, we know we're priests and our words carry weight. But because the man is the cover for his wife, because he is the one with the vision, he is the one he sees where the woman is like supposed to be. So a good husband, after you've gotten married to your wife, you should know how far she's supposed to go. And you are supposed to help her go there. So if your wife is still in the same spot where she has always been, confused and all of that, it's your fault. And I'm so sorry to say it, but it's actually your fault. You are supposed to tender, care, cater, cultivate. You're supposed to, what's the word? Groom her. Like it's just like a plant. You're supposed to take care of this plant because if you don't water the plant, guess what? The plant's going to die. If you put too much water, because depending on the plant, right? You are supposed to put a certain amount of water. It's supposed to be exposed to light in different. I know there are some specific plants that need to be put at a certain angle to the sun. So if you as the person that bought the plant, so let's say you bought an ivy plant, right? And you don't know that, okay, it's not supposed to be under direct sun, and you put it under direct sun, guess what? It's going to die. So that's why you have to understand your own wife, not your neighbor's wife, oh. Not the one that your parents got married, not your mother, not your own wife. Understand her, understand what she needs. What's the angle that I need to put her for her to be able to shine and radiate? Do you understand? Like, how can she be her best self just being with me? The fact that I am the one caring for her. How can she become the best version of herself? Right? And First Peter 3, verse 7, it gives a good uh, uh, like background and grip for that particular to as a basis. We're doing a lot of biblical foundations here, like in terms of principles. And why I'm tying this so well to the Bible is so you know that it doesn't change. It is constant. Principles are constant. And the way God has made it, if you obey those principles, guess what? You're going to have a blissful home, right? And so for my beloved women, hi. Okay, so here's our turn. The world has made submission so I'm actually writing a book and about submission because I remember a time where before I got married, just due to the fact that I was doing a lot of work around girls and seeing girls being like sexually assaulted or being in all of this kind of spaces where I'm seeing girls being hurt by a man. I started getting to that point where I'm like, does God really like us? Like, what sort of things? Why are women suffering, always suffering around the world? You see women, their husbands not taking care of them. Women, their lives, just their lights being dimmed just because of the man that's around them. Do you understand? I started getting so upset and angry. So I started going full blown like I was not, I never, I was never a feminist, but I started tending towards that way of being bitter towards men. And it started showing in my actions. In the people I was trying to have conversations with, I just found that it was difficult for me to truly like understand them because I was judging them with a different lens. Every time we talk, I'm like, this one would probably stress me in marriage. Oh." But imagine if I didn't actually go back to God and ask all these questions and he didn't heal my heart first because the fact that I had seen differently, I had seen, I mentioned something earlier. When you see things, it shows you a possibility. Is that I was so much in that. It was a compassionate space where I was helping people and all of that, but slowly something was changing within me, right? And my definition of submission almost became like bondage. And back to the scripture of when God created man and he said, dominate, it was not human. It was the things God created, the animals, the garden, the water, all the things, right? But not human. So imagine if I had understood that earlier. It would have been so easy for me. But guess what? That's why I say wisdom is in all you're getting, get wisdom because to save you. Because some women now, they would have had a blissful home. Some women that are acclaimed feminists, I believe if they truly understand what God meant, what God what God says about them and who they are, right? You will come to understand that it's not a fighting, it's not a war thing. I remember even me and my husband, like when we were getting to know each other, like a few years before he came back and asked me to marry him. Oh my God, I was full on like strict with him. I was like, this you're giving like we're having just a conversation and before you know it, I'm saying like no, like I don't want this because I feel like this will happen. So my judgment was now ruled based off of fear. Do you understand? So submission. Why I gave all that background is so that you understand that the world has its definition for what submission is. Because some people have misused it. I will not lie to you. Truthfully, some men have misused that word submission. But what God taught when he taught submission was order. Because if the man has the vision, guess what? The woman now has to submit to that vision. She has to submit to that man in order for that vision to be accomplished. So, one thing I would say to women, reverence your husband. Submission is not difficult. Think of it as reverence. Think of it that you prefer this person, you love this person. This is the person. Do you understand? Like when you think of it this way, that I revere this person, guess what? You will respect them. You will love them. You will choose them every time, right? And that helps you submit easily. That's why I say you have to stay close to God. If you don't stay close to God, it's easy for the devil to give you a different definition. You can start seeing things that he is doing genuinely, just from a pure heart. You can almost start seeing it as, and that he has an evil intent, like a bad intention, right? So reverence, which is also in a simpler term for I call reverence a simpler term for submission because we're used to the term reverence. When you say you reverence someone, you revere a man of God, whoever it is. It means you walk with them with honor. You honor this person. You appreciate this person. You admire them, right? So you have a husband. You're married here. You have a husband. Let him know that, oh, I appreciate you being in my life. You have made my life so beautiful. Like, and that's one thing. I think that's one thing with my husband and I. One thing we've done really well with our date nights and like the sessions or not, I won't call it sessions. Like that, I think it's giving counselor now. But like the times when we just sit and talk and we're just vulnerable, we express to each other how we truly feel about each other. Guess what? It helps build our connection and it builds our relationship. I let him know, oh my God, I really appreciated you staying up with the baby last night when she was not feeling good. Thank you so much for doing this before you went to work. Oh, thank you for taking out the trash. Oh, thank you for buying me this dress. Thank you, for thinking of the fact that I needed to be here. Thank you for knowing, to be at this so place at this so time. Thank you for driving me there. Do you understand? Just those things of appreciating the things he does, it helps him do more because he sees that you see him. Do you understand? So men want to be seen, they want to be respected, they want to be honored. And it's not just the outward, not just you saying in your heart. Because one thing is out of the abundance of the heart. That's how your mouth speaks. So if you don't have good things to say about him, it just means you need to pause now and start thinking of all this. Because that's the thing, if you don't have a gratitude journal, it's very easy to be ungrateful. If you don't have a place where you're writing all these things, it's easy to see he can cook today, made such an amazing setup on the dining table. People had a wonderful dinner, but you never thought of it as a big deal. Guess what? The devil would help you orchestrate it 6 months down the line. You will not even remember that he ever cooked. You'll be the same person. Did you ever cook? Like, really? You'd never do anything nice for me. Oh, you do this, you do that. That's why I say you have to have a gratitude journal. Even as a single person, have gratitude journal where you're thanking God for, oh, thank you, Lord, for taking me out and bringing me back today. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the breath that I breathe, like being alive today. Oh, God, I met such an amazing person today. It was such an amazing conversation we had. Oh, thank you, God, I got this admission. Oh, God, thank you. Because guess what? By the time you have a culture of gratitude, it's easy for you to give reverence to God. It's easy for you to revere God and let him know that he's meaningful in your life. Do you understand? So same thing with your husband, right? Is that you must admire him inwardly and outwardly. If you don't have good things to say about him, please check your heart. Ask God to help you. And if it's a situation where your home has become so toxic, please reach out. Please, there is help out there. You can actually repair your building. You can repair what you're building. It's never too late, right? All right. So, if you have any questions, please just put it in. I said you can send it anonymously. I sent a link earlier. If you got the email I sent via Nestuge, but if you don't have access to that link, you can also hit in the text box, hit the icon that says everyone and select my name, Eugenia Oshin, the person speaking right now, and send the message directly to me. If you want the anonymous link, I would put that in the chat box very shortly. Okay. Thank you so much. Please, what is the question for the gift? Someone has missed out. We've released so much already, so many of the keys already, but you're going to have the rewatch. But the gift. Oh, you want to know what's the question for the gift? Okay, the question for the gift is so you're supposed to look through the entire conversation we're having right now, the sessions, all the slides we're going through, what I'm saying. In it, I'll be releasing 7 keys that open a successful marriage. And they are principles, biblical principles. And I have proof. We'll talk about it at the end so that I don't give out too much. But I want you to just think of principles as things that if A uses and B uses and they use it correctly, they will have the same results. That's what I want you to think of it as. I mentioned love. If A loves his wife properly, the wife respects her husband the way she's supposed to, guess what? Their marriage will look the way God he thought of it that it's supposed to look when love is added to the foundation. Guess what? It will look the same in every other home where love is like where they express love. Do you understand? So I want you to look out for the principles. There's 7 of them. Look out for them. It's just to help you stay engaged, okay? But I have a gift for as much people as uh I said the first person, but okay, I can say as I would say 3 people. Okay. So I have a gift for 3 people that will find the first 3 that will find it. All right. So let's go back to our presentations. Okay. So every bid for connection, it meets a door. And that door, what this is now is between you and your spouse, right? If they bring up something, let's say, oh, look over there, babe. There's a bird out there. There's this couple that always gives this they used it as a research. But if your spouse says, "Oh, babe, look, the apples are getting bad," and you ignore them, guess what? There are 3 things you can do in that situation. You can either turn to them and say, "Oh my God, it's getting bad. What do we do with it?" Right? That's one option. The second, you just turn away. You don't answer them. You don't do anything, right? And the third is you say something that's like, why will you, can you imagine? See how you have wasted the the apples and I will let them spoil, right? So 3. And these 3 things I just said now, this is the reason why most homes are having the kitty catty that they're having. The response, these 3. One turns away every form of spite or whatever, any form of anger or argument. The other 2, it leads to conflict. Conflict that if you don't know how to manage conflict well, guess what? Your marriage, the foundation starts shaking, right? So, in terms of connection, I want us to now start thinking of ways that we can add to our connection jar with our person. Every time your partner tries to connect with you, the person might not announce that, oh, I'm connecting with you now, oh, so please listen up. Did you get? It's to come in form of, oh, how are you doing? How was your day? It's left to you now to say, oh, my day was good, and then you share about your day. Not that, oh, it was okay, and then you just walk away. Or you don't answer and you just walk away. Do you understand? Or you made my day worse. You see how each of these could play out very differently, right? So this is just a reminder to say we have it in our court to channel the right like the kind of energy and the experience we want to have, atmosphere we want to have in our home. We have that duty. Yes, the devil comes against marriages. I know that the devil does not like unions. He will do everything to shatter it. But every time you withdraw from your spouse, you try to damage their self-worth, or you're trying to damage the relationship, guess what? You're giving a loophole to the devil. So we are the ones most times that allow the entrance of those demons into our homes of of anger, of always fighting, of hostility, all of those things, we give permission to the devil. And that's why I said the foundation has to be done right. It has to be Christ and no other way. No other way. Okay. Let me know if you have a question. Okay. Um, so how often, so this was a research they did, and they found out that how often couples turn towards each other's beads. So like, how you doing? Or look over there, babe. In terms of catching those moments of connection, how much they catch it. 86% of couples that caught it, they have thriving marriages. And 33%, this is like the extra counseling partner. This one is not, it's like a psychology partner. This is not necessarily like a biblical research that was done. No, this, but they're a Christian couple, so I do, that's why I brought their research work. So it means that you have to be very intentional about being being connected to your spouse. Do you understand? If you're the person that never like you find I so you just don't find it easy to have conversations and be vulnerable with your spouse, you have to work on yourself. You have to work on yourself. You can't have a successful marriage without having conversations. And I'm not talking of proper communication now. Conversations, right? You have to talk. You both have to talk. Before you get married, talk. Talk plenty. Talk. Oh. Because if you don't talk, if you are busy, doing what you're not supposed to do, talk, because when you talk you can each see each other, you can know what needs to be worked on, where you need to run away, at what point should you just people should part ways and say goodbye. Oh, is this something we can work on, or are we heading towards a good like to a good destination? So talk, please talk. Have even when you have gotten married, still talk, because that's what will keep your marriage going. Talk, talk, talk. It's exciting. Oh, it's very exciting. But so now let's do okay, so I'll just do this quick and then we'll probably do our game. So 5 to 1. Uh For every one negative thing you want to say, have 5 positive things you've said. So fill up your partner's jar with so many positive things that by the time you're bringing up this one thing that's, oh, that is not very good, not very pleasant, they would have no choice but to listen to you because they know that it's not out of spite. Do you understand? Because if every time you have something to say, something bad, guess what? Even when you have something genuinely sincere that you want to express to them that, okay, I think we need to work on this, or I think we should look into this, they won't take you seriously because they think, okay, maybe you're just trying to nag them off or complain, or do you understand? Like maybe you don't just like them. So think even not only your relationships like marriage or whatever, think of these two with your personal life. For every time you want to tell somebody one thing they need to work on, make sure you've deposited into that jar. Don't go and drop a red a red this thing because it can deplete people's self-esteem. So ensure that you filled up that jar for them before you drop a negative. Okay? That's how you show love. Okay? All right. So now the design. Okay, this is the beautiful part, right? The design. So we have a culture debate where everybody, the woman is supposed to do this, the woman is supposed to cook, clean, the woman is supposed to this, right? Are we still in sync? Are we still in sync? Hi, everyone. Let's see the comment section going. Let's go. Hi, everyone. Okay. So, okay, so we're still here. For the debate part, right? I want us to start thinking of the world would almost make everything, and that's one agenda the devil has. Every good thing God has created, because of misinterpretation, the devil will take that and help us scatter something beautiful God intended for marriage to be beautiful. He intended for marriage to be done a certain way. He intended for marriage to be pleasing and so pleasing not only to him, but also to the people that are married, husband and wife, right? But some people have taken that now because they didn't really understand what the scripture was saying, right? Or they didn't understand the context of life, or they truly have not used the knowledge they've gotten from the Bible. It hasn't translated into wisdom. Do you understand? So now they are making choices and they are saying, oh, it's God that said it. When did God say your wife should cook and clean? When? And me, I know I've struggled with this thing. That was one of the main reasons why I didn't want to get married. And that's why I'm so loud about this. Because until we actually start having this conversation, a lot of people will be stuck feeling as though you as a woman, you are disadvantaged. If you get married, you will just suffer. There's no advantage for you as a woman. But I put it to you, it's a lie. Marriage is beautiful, but it has to be done with the right person. With the right person. Do you understand? So I see the gender roles as a thing of responsibility. And I learned that from reading books. That's why it's very important. You have to soak in yourself, read materials, read books. Even as I'm married now, I still read books, right? So that I learned from, I still had that mindset for a long time. I recently learned that it's a thing of responsibility. So wherever the need arises, you as a responsible individual before you got married, if you would have done that, so let's say you're in your own space and you saw that there's water on the floor and you know that you won't leave it on the floor because you're responsible. Guess what? Even when you're married, the same thing, right? When you're married now to your spouse, you see that, oh, we need to eat and you can cook. Please cook. For every woman, I advise you, I encourage you to learn how to cook. You know why I say that? Because by the time you start having kids, right, they need to eat. Yes, the man will cook too. Like my husband, he cooks really good too. He makes really nice chicken. He makes really nice grilled chicken and fried rice and eggs. His eggs on Saturdays. Oh my God, that's one of my best best meals for the week. His fried eggs. Oh my God, it's always like. But I'm saying like it's good for you as a woman to learn how to cook. Because if you think of our anatomy, the body, God made us to be the ones to incubate the baby, to hold the baby, to birth the baby, like birth them. And guess what? The food is where it's on us. We are still the ones that feed the baby. Do you understand? So I would say in terms of being um what's the word? Being caring and being like your warmth around the home, part of the things that keep a home warm is good food, right? So it doesn't mean you have to be a top tier chef or whatever. Just ensure your home has food. Even if, let's say, you don't have time to cook, please ensure that even if you need to have a chef, because I know some people, I'm getting to that point, period. Like we're going to get to that point where God will do it, we'll be bringing private chef to cook, stock up the kitchen. I'm just saying, like, depending on what area of your life you're in right now, if you're a busy mom, please just ensure there's food in the house. It doesn't have to be cooked by you. Do you understand? But the whole essence of month is that your husband is well fed and taken care of. You are well fed and taken care of. Your children are well fed and taken care of. Do you understand? That's the warmth you bring into the house. Your husband brings the stability. I'll get into that very shortly, but let's roll. I think we're going to that part now. But culture will tell you that, oh, it's almost like a power struggle where, oh, women feel disadvantaged and weak, but men feel like, oh, like they're not supposed to do things, they should just watch TV. No, a good man, because he's the foundation of the home, because he's the one that ensures that the home is stable and like everything is running smooth. He would ensure that there is food. He would ensure that there is a warm shelter for the family to stay in. Do you understand? That's what I understand. That's what I later got to understand in terms of gender roles. It's a thing of responsibility as opposed to the doing. Do you understand? So if you both are responsible and mature, it should be a conversation. Do you get? Like personally for my husband and I, we found it so easy, like talking about it, right? Like now we have a baby, and all we do is, oh, he does the showers for our baby on some of the nights, like most of the nights actually. And most times I prepare the dinner so that by the time he's done with baby but having her bath, we all just come and we eat. Do you understand? So it's a dance. Just keep remembering it's a dance. You two have to talk. You need to communicate. You need to be on the same page, on the same level. You need to talk. Do you understand? So, the guardian assigned to the both of you, God has assigned you your home. You are supposed to take care of it, right? And it's a thing of function as opposed to value. It doesn't deplete you as a woman if you cook for your husband. It doesn't deplete you as a man if you cook for your household, okay? And your wife. And I'll actually I should just say, but if you're a married person and you're the one that finds the seven principles, I have a date night recipe book I'm working on. You get it for free. I make one of the best. Ask my husband. I bake the best. I cook the best. Just period. Like ask my husband. He'll tell you. I know he will say it's good no matter what. But yeah, I do have a recipe book coming on that will help you with date nights. Just think of like nice intercontinental dishes that you could make. It's not every time you eat amala, a roast stew. Eh? Sometimes you're eating like nice pasta dish on date nights. Let's say because one thing I did in that book is there are home dates that you can have in your house. So let's say you don't have enough money to go out to eat, or for this season you decided that okay, we want to save some money, so we want to eat in the house, or let's say you just want to have home cooked food. You flip through that recipe book, pick one, make it, surprise your wife, surprise your husband. See? Hey, I'm really happy you put today. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. But yeah, like back to what we're saying. Okay, so I have a pool. I don't know if it's going to work, but okay, maybe we can just keep rolling since we started a little late, but I would have loved it if we could come up with if we could share a couple of roles. What do we think when we think of roles? What do we think God created? Oh, we can use the chat box actually. What do we think God created when God created a man? What was the role? Like what function was he supposed to uh like play? Like what was he supposed to do? What was he supposed to like? Do you understand? Like a husband to love the woman and protect. Okay, I love that. I love that. I love that. Okay. So let's keep it coming. The man, what's the man? What's the role of the man? I love that. Okay, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I'll just wait for like a minute and then I'll go move on to the next slide. And if we can also put it in the chat box too, what do we think the role of a woman is? In terms of function, what do we think when God created woman, what was her role? All right. Any other? I'll just wait for a minute. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. And uh any more? Okay, so I'll just keep going. All right, so the role of man is the person said to love a woman and protect her. You got it. Clock it. Yeah, you got it. So it's to tend and keep. He's a gardener. He's supposed to watch over everything that God has placed within his vineyard. And that includes and starts with his wife. It starts with the woman. So, and when I mean the woman, I mean your wife. I don't mean like every other woman. I mean the woman that's yours, that's your own wife. So you're supposed to love her, you're supposed to cultivate. Like in terms of cultivating, I mean you're supposed to bring out the best in her. Remember the example I gave with the plants, right? So you can go back and watch that part where I explained, because that was such a good explanation as to the plants, as to because each woman is different. So the exact one you have decided to be married to, you have to now understand the way to take care of her that she will flourish and she like you will not kill the plants. Okay. You're supposed to lead, and true leadership starts from self-leadership. So as a man, you need to build yourself properly before you go and ask a woman out. Make sure you have led yourself properly. Self-leadership. We're going to talk about that in on day two. But leading is more of having a vision and carrying every other person along. Give. You're supposed to give love. You're supposed to give, like, we know love is giving. What did God do when He Like we know in John 3:16, it says, God loved. When he loved, what did he do? He loved us. What did he do? He gave his son to die for us so we can be um brought back to him, right? When man fell away from the presence of God. He couldn't interact with God in on the same level anymore. So what did God do? God thought about, oh, guess what? I will give my son. And so which means as a man, when you think of love, you must think of giving, you must think of sacrifice, giving yourself up is that you have to lose yourself. That's just the and when I say lose yourself, I don't mean you just like you just you just like let it all loose. I just mean you have to make sacrifices. There are times that okay, you might not be able to do this or do that because of your family, because of the sake of your family and all of that. In terms of your choices, right? You're supposed to protect your family. You're supposed to teach. And when I'm talking of protecting, like all round, both also spiritually too, not just physically. All right, we're supposed to teach. So you model with your life and with your words. You model what that vision God has put in your heart. You model it so well that every other person in the home, if they have no choice but to do it because daddy is doing it, because my husband is doing it. Do you understand? And then work. You're supposed to tend, provide, work. So that's all the part of working. So in order to provide, you need to have work, right? And worship God. So the man has to stay connected to God because a man that is close to God, he can't miss it in terms of being a good husband, in terms of being a good dad, right? So true worship and reverence to God produces a refined man that is refined as gold. So the purpose of a man is to cultivate. Everything God gives him must flourish. And that's what I want every man to remember. Everything God gives you, it must flourish. And to the woman, so we have a couple of minutes left, so I'll just rush through. The woman is a helper. When God created a woman, He created a woman that is comparable. And when He says comparable, it's like a good match. A good image here would have been a puzzle. A puzzle would have shown you how like puzzles, until you find the correct place that hooks and the image has to be the same. Imagine you're doing a puzzle of a tree or something. The trunk has to be, you can't put trunk where the leaves are. Do you understand? So that's the concept of being a comparable helper, is that when you now come and you've met this man now, right? You ensure that you are making his life better. Do you understand? So he has communicated to you now that this is where we're headed, though, as a family. Guess what? You now submit to that and start working. How can we enhance this? How can we work on this? How can we do that? Do you understand? You bring the beauty, you bring the shape. Do you get? So you shape that vision, you shape everything, you shape to ensure that on the last day when you could present, like the man will present the wife blameless. But when God asks you, were you a good steward of your marriage? Did you steward your husband well, that relationship? You would you would be rewarded, right? You want to be rewarded. Honor, we spoke about reverence and submission. So please rewatch this video. Respect, honor is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's the way you show a man that you do love him. For a woman, we want affection, we want love. For a man, in order to show him you love him, you have to respect him. And the respect and honor I explained is inward and outward, right? So your heart posture has to be one of honor. It's not that you're saying I honor you, my husband, but in your heart, you are doing something else that is like, they will like, what's this one? Where is your mind at? Right? It has to be in sync. Okay, and then you have to reflect. You reflect what the man is showing. But in a situation, because I know I'm not talking to only believers, there might be some people that might stumble on this video, and let's say their husband, he drinks. Let's say their husband parties. He does like things that is not in alignment to the scripture. He's like just going wild, like yeah, not in alignment with the scripture. I'll leave it there. You place where you lie. Don't reflect. If you're a woman and you know what it means you're a Christian woman and you know what it means to be Christ-like, do not reflect the bad. So if your husband is giving you back like bad he's treating you poorly and all of that, don't reflect it back. You are to reflect Christ. Except, I'm going to give an exception here, except when your physical, like there's physical danger. In that situation, you remove yourself and ensure that it's settled. Someone helps you people build that relationship back. You people, before you come back. When your safety is at risk, please, there's no building there. You're not building anything. Okay? So let's keep it going. You're a life giver. That's why God has blessed us with the responsibility to bring children into this earth. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful journey that has ups and downs, right? But one thing I know is with the right support, with the right community, with the right wisdom, you would love being a life giver. Because think of the fact that you're bringing your husband's vision to life. You're literally like the one that lights up everything. You're bringing your children into this world. Like women, oh my God, I love being a woman. All the women in the house, clock it. Yeah, we love being women because it's not a joke. To like if you think of this is so beautiful. Imagine being a life giver. Think of it. Hmm. God will give us wisdom in Jesus' name. But you're a nurturer and you're also a helper. Okay? And the main purpose of a woman when God created a woman is for companionship, it's for friendship, it's so you can help your husband. Okay? And talking to the singles now, when and if you've been very observant, all I've been saying husband and wife. This is not for engaged couples. You are not to honor, let me correct myself. You are not to submit to someone you are not married to. As a man, you are not supposed to start playing husband duties before you get married to the woman, even if you're engaged. That's why your foundation has to be love, as to understanding it as patience, as being kind, as being gentle, all of those things they go into play. But the part of now submitting under his leadership comes after God has approved that marriage until you're married, until it's stamped as a union. Do you understand? So just to correct that, just to help with the this thing. So for the single, you can just take this as a knowing. Do you understand? But you must see all of these traits. Excuse me. As a woman, you must see that that this particular man, these roles that we're talking of, you can see it. Oh, you can see it. Oh my God. Okay. I think I'm losing my slides here. Yeah. So you can see all of this even before you get married with the people around him. Does he protect his family, his mother, his sisters, his brother? How does he interact with them? Do you understand? All of these things has to show. You have to see signs of it. Is he a good leader? And that's why I say leadership starts from self-leadership. Does he lead himself? If he doesn't, that's not a good person to submit to. Okay? And then same thing with the woman. Men, look out. Is this woman a nurturer? Is she an enhancer? Is she all like does she honor people? Do people have to earn her respect, or does she just respect people regardless of what they do and who they are? Do you understand? And that's why I'm saying we have to build ourselves up that this is who we are. Do you understand? So we're not meeting spouses based off of condition. Oh, if I'm good, then I would find a good person. Do you understand? Just good. So all the people that come your way, if they are bad, they have no right, they have no, there's no room for them to stay. Do you understand? Okay, so the standard is Christ. And from Ephesians 5, why is that happening to me? Ephesians 5:25, um, Ephesians 5:25 lets us know how to reflect Christ in our marriage. And Ephesians 5:23, this would be let me see, Ephesians 5:25. It reads, husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her. And then 33 reads, nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. So this is scriptural, all right? I just read that to let you know that it's in the scriptures. Okay, so this takes table, I want us to just go back later and look at it again. I've said all of the things that are in this on this table, but this is the main focus. This is the standard. This is what God wants us to do. This is how He wants us to interact with ourselves as husband and wife. Okay. And I won't go over that again, but these are examples of ways a man can show affection to his wife. I would advise that you go back and rewatch this video. Speak kindly to her, show consideration towards her. Don't keep scores. Forgiveness is a big part of having a peaceful and a loving home. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. You will forgive so many times. And ways a woman can support her husband or should support her husband. You prefer him first and every other time, every time, prefer your husband over every other person. Honor him publicly and in private. Make your home a safe place for your family, okay? A safe place for him to open up and speak, a safe place for you, for the kids, and respect, admire, and pray for him. All right, so now it's time for repair. So let's say uh you find that okay, the relationship is shaking, right? This table, I'm going to send a screenshot of the screen grab of this just to help you all just use it in your personal life because this is a big one. In your personal life, you have to practice this so much so that by the time you come into marriage, it's already like, do you understand? Like it's already second nature. So, in order to prevent, these are some of the four things that they found that destroys relationships the most: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. So, criticism we know is attack of someone's behavior or character, like attacking someone. And then contempt is speaking down, like, do you understand? Like in disgust, like, who is this one? Like, do you get? And deflecting. Defensiveness is deflecting or like just sharing it among all of us. We all did it. And then stonewalling is shutting down or shutting out. And this can happen where someone can be truly sincere and good, but they don't know that they're exhibiting these things because of trauma. And that's why it's very advisable if you feel as though you're seeing a pattern that is very consistent, seeming as though like, okay, it's difficult to have relationships that are long term without like any long friction. You probably want to look at these horsemen again and see which ones are showing up that you are exhibiting. Because more than seeing it in the other person, in your spouse, in the other person, is to see it, check your own self first. Do you understand? So that you can make changes where it needs to happen. Okay, so this is just examples of how it sounds, and this is the antidote is like the cure. So like when we think of sickness and medication, but yes, a gentle startup. So a gentle, like we know, even the scriptures in James was telling us that a gentle answer, gentle tone, it drives away anger and drives away conflict. So that's the one thing we should think of, being gentle with our conversations and the way we talk to people. The culture of appreciation. Oh, this is a big one. Be a person that's a grateful person in words, in the way you live your life, in your actions. Let people know that you're a person of honor because that's a big one. When you appreciate people, when you have a culture of appreciation, you are someone that has honor, right? And God is glorified in that way. If you don't appreciate the person closest to you, how do you appreciate God that you've never seen before? How do you honor God that you've never seen? You can honor the people that are around you. Do you understand? So that's the way you look at it. People will not always do the best things. People will not always be their best selves. They will not always exhibit the right traits. But remember that you as a person, you want it to be a culture that you always honor people. You appreciate people no matter what they do, right? And defensiveness, own your own slice. So whenever there's a conflict and you're trying to bring it up, own up the parts where you feel you might have gone wrong. Okay. And then stonewall, you need help. Either of these things, if ever you notice these things and you know that it's difficult to come up with like come out of it, please seek help. And you can send me an email, you can book a session with me. Please, I'm more than willing and open to speaking with you. And if it's in your home, please, you do need counseling. If it's in your home, you need counseling. If your spouse is shutting you out, whatever it might be, you do need to talk about it. You both need to talk about it. Okay. So I have a free gift at the end for every person that stayed and watched and participated. I will be sending out free gifts just to help you continue building a solid and strong relationship. But this is only available to those that joined the live session. Okay. It will be available for purchase for those that couldn't join the live session. And how to repair a relationship. So when there's a rupture, when there is an issue, when you notice emotions are building up already, everybody take a break, pause. And this is one thing people don't learn to do because when they don't pause, they flare up and it just gets much more complicated than it's supposed to be. When you pause, you now think of a response. If it means you taking a breather, taking a time, take a time out. Just go and think about it. How do you want to express what you're trying to say? Do you understand? And remember, soft return, soft tone, soft response. And it doesn't mean talking like, oh, yeah. No. It just means from a place where it's coming from now, it's not out of anger or bitterness, right? And then repair can happen and you people can have a stronger home, a stronger joint. So a solid foundation for that in the scripture is Ephesians 4 verse 26. Please check that out, okay? And I hope as you're rewatching, you're taking time out to take notes. I hope you're taking time out to check what areas you need to work on and all of that, okay? So for the rebuilders, some of you are not preparing a house. You're actually repairing it, right? For those that are preparing it, it's much easier because now you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you can build something solid, right? But for those that are repairing, let's say you've already gone in and now you're like, there's problem everywhere. Oh, there's hope. There's hope, and you have to now start putting yourself in rooms and spaces where you can learn and grow as a couple, right? Repair is possible. The research and the word, the Bible, it has given us concrete knowing that it is possible to come back, repair that relationship, repair that home, and have a successful home, right? So the anchor scriptures for that will be Mark 10, verse 9, and Songs of Solomon 8, verse 7. Okay. So soft answer, just similar to what we're talking about, communication, it helps with repairing of a relationship, of a damaged relationship. What is the mortar? What the mortar is made of? So what we put in the foundation is made up of forgiveness, it's made up of love, specifically agape love, which was the love Christ showed us when he died for us, when he came to this earth to live in human form. God himself lived in human form because he loved us. He wanted to show us an example of how we can overcome and live a victorious life here on earth, right? So the life of Christ is a true representation of what agape love is. Then service, you need to have a heart of service. If you don't have a heart of service, you cannot do marriage right. And service it involves sacrifice. There are times that it might not be comfortable, it might not be possible. You might have to lose money, you might have to give your time, give your career, give up something in the moment, right? That's where service comes in order for the vision. And that's one thing I want us to keep remembering. The vision is the ultimate is the vision. The vision. Our eyes must always be on the vision. And the next is commitment. You must be committed to one another. Be committed that's in terms of trust. Don't do things that would make your spouse doubt you. Be transparent. Transparency is a big part of commitment. Then also in terms of keeping your vows, ensure you keep your vows because God, every word you mention as a vow is something God has recorded and he's going to judge you using that vow. Do you understand? So every vow you state, you mention on your wedding day before you said, I do, keep to it, keep to it. All right. And then our commitment is also to God, our children, and the world around us. Responsibility. We all need to take responsibility. Be mature. Mature up in emotions, in our mental life, but also mainly our spiritual life. We must mature up so that we can be responsible adults that are fit to be in a marriage, right? Uh, then we talk of just the finishing touches now of the chandelier, adding like the color of the what color you want to put in the house, making the house beautiful, putting flowers, putting wall paintings and all of that. That's where we are now, right? And if you've missed out, please go back and watch it again. So for two to become one, right? They, you need three things. And in order for you to continue being one, because you can say I do, and then you stop being friends, and then your marriage will be destroyed. So you need three things: friendship, partnership, and commitment to God. If you have these three things and you hold them tight, the two of you, husband and wife, I'm telling you, nothing will break that cord. Nothing, even the devil. So we can talk more about this. I'm hoping to open a community group where we can just all have conversations. If you learn something, you can just put it in the chat so other people can learn too. And I'll be putting book reviews up. Like when I read a book, I can put the review of the book, what I learned from it, so it can also bless you and help you. And things I'm learning on this journey too, right? But also when questions come up, I can answer them in those community group. And you don't have to pay for sessions before you can interact with those information and the resources. All right. So we work together. In Ecclesiastes, I think we had read Amos 3 verse 3 before. Can two work together except they agree? So Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 to 12 also tells us it gave a good description of these three chords too, right? Um, so now we go to so let's go to um so this is just a reflection question that you don't have to answer here. Just think about it and answer it sincerely. If you have a book, please write it down. If you're a couple right now, I want you two of you to sit and talk. Which room in your house right now needs attention in this season? Right? Is it your communication? Is it in terms of your build, like in terms of the vision? Right? In terms of your prayer life, whatever it might be, you both need to sit down and come up with a detailed step by step of how you would rebuild that room, right? Because imagine you have a house and then you just leave your kitchen just empty without anything. It's not functional. That's not good. That means you can't eat, you can't warm up food, or your living room is just bare, right? It doesn't give beauty to the home. So same thing with your marriage. When those rooms are left vacant for too long or bare or on on like they're not well taken care of, it destroys the home. Do you understand? When a home is not well beautified, the home it loses its the essence of it. Do you get? All right. And then for singles in the house, I want you to really take time out to write out what are a must have. So, what must your future house include? So, when I talk of house now, I mean, I'll go back to that picture again. When you think of the foundation, the walls, the roof, the windows, the doors, the keys. What must your own house have? What must it include? Because one thing I said is, yes, you're not supposed to play husband and wife duties before you get married, but you must see the signs that this person actively has all these things. They are actually living this life before you say I do to them. So you don't fall into one chance. Okay? Where somebody deceives you that, oh, they do this, they do that, but then it's very different from their actions. And you're like, you get into marriage and you're like, where are we? Where did you bring me to? Do you understand? So, yeah, so that's the blueprint. And then another question just to think of, do you ever wonder what what if I make the wrong choice? Like that can be a fear because that was a fear I had for such a long time. And it made me I kept putting myself in the wrong relationships, in the wrong hands, because I kept wondering like just that fear alone will make you make the wrong choice. So don't make the choice of marriage out of fear. If you have the worry that would I make the wrong choice? That's not a good time to make a choice. That's a good time to go back to God. right? And reinforce your foundation of who you are and what you know and where God is taking you to, so that by the time God brings the person for you, right, you guys can build on love and not fear. Okay? Okay. Do you ever wonder if you would be a worthy spouse to build with? So we're going to deal with a lot of this in our day two as a builder, as the person. To become a solid person, you need to ask yourself this question because a lot of people think they are a good spouse, but they are not. Before they get married, they'll think they are, oh, I go do this, I go do that. When they marry, is the opposite. But these questions, I want us to sincerely answer them beyond like the laugh and the jokes. To be sincere, we need to answer them, okay? So those two questions, yes, they deserve a full session. And like I said, we're going to talk more about the builder. Today we built the house. Next time we'll be building the builder, so the person that builds this house, right? I wanted to show you all what the house looks like, so that by the time we get into building the builder, you know what now it takes to become this person that can build that house that you've seen now. What it takes to become that person is what we'll be talking about August 1st. Okay, so I hope you don't miss it. Try not to miss it because it's not good that you start learning all these beautiful things and then you just stop halfway, right? So this particular session we just had is completely free. You don't have to pay anything, but the replay will be paid, except for those that were on directly on this live session. So I want to see you all in the next in our next session, the next live. Please come with someone, let your friends know, tell your friends, tell everybody, because I feel the earlier people know about this kind of things, the earlier these questions get answered, it's easier for people to make the right choices. So we're not always talking about, oh, this one is being beaten up, oh, this one, their marriage is on the verge of breaking down and all of that, all because of the lack of wisdom and knowledge, right? So please share this with as much people as possible, whether married, single, whoever it might be. Please share it with them and let them also know that it's possible to build a solid home on Christ. All right. So I'll take questions right now. And if there are no questions, you can just the link is still anonymous, link open. If you want to drop any questions privately, I would answer you, okay? Um, so just ask me any questions. And if you need private counseling or you have any situation that's going on and you just want to talk to someone, please book a session and reach out to me, okay? I'm more than open and ready to talk to you. All right. So I have three gifts to send to you all at the end of all the people that participated and they were present in this session. I have three gifts to send to you. I have a handout for the horsemen to help you manage your relationships properly, to maintain good relationships. I have a date night guide. So it's not necessarily like this one is not a recipe, but once the recipe is complete, I might do a test with the people that I might just send it out to see what you think about it. Okay. So I will sending you guys for free. And then the house blueprint. So I'll take a screenshot of that and send to you. So you just have it and you can always look at it, have it in your photo and be looking at it, be checking it because you need to see something so much until you become it. Okay? I really pray that each and every one of you, oh my God, I just gave out the seven, the seven keys. That was a mistake. Oh my goodness. That was a big mistake. And I think I still did that again. But okay, so do we have any answers yet? I haven't seen any email come up. So I'll just show the keys. Oh, I see someone sent it to me. Good job, good job, good job. Oh, I like that. All right. So that's perfect. I see someone's reply. It seems someone has gotten it. So let's review the six keys. The six keys have been revealed. Can we all see it? If you want to have a successful marriage, take a screenshot of this, take a picture of this, have it, ensure that you understand each of it. If you don't, please send me a message on Nesthuge, okay? Understand each of it. Living and cleaving. As a man, you must understand living and cleaving to your wife. Living and cleaving involves, okay, I won't go into much detail because we're running out of time and I wanted to take questions, but it involves you now being focused on this new assignment God has given you. Do you understand? And then marriage exists for God's glory, which I put all the scriptural references here so we know. Love is a decision, it's not a feeling. Honor one another. So each of you must honor each other. That must be a culture in your home as individuals. Honor must be a huge part of your life as a person, as a man, as a woman. Honor. Yes, I saw your answer. I saw your answer, Emanuela. You're the one that got the prize. I haven't seen any other person's answer. So by the end of this session, I guess that will be it. It will be closed. Forgiveness is non-negotiable. Oh, a soft answer turns away wrath. So that's a huge one in terms of communication. And forgiveness is a non-negotiable. A cord of three strands cannot be broken. Okay. How has it been, everybody? How has it been so far? How has it been? How has it been so far? So we've come to the end. Let me go back to that just to give a quick summary before we leave. So I'll use that image that I said I was going to show everybody. So all those that were here to start, I'm sure it has all the thought has built up now, where we know that the foundation is Christ. And because the man is submitted to Christ, he is the foundation of the home, right? The wall, which is the design, is the woman. She wraps around that vision now and makes it beautiful, makes that home beautiful. And then the roof. I see the roof as Christ or God. So for covering, to cover the whole house and keep, we are all submitted to Christ, to God. So as we're submitted to Christ, every other thing, it works fine. And then in terms of connection, in terms of like the rooms in the home, so your communication, your conflict management skills, problem solving as a couple, family planning, finances, financial, like managing your finances, all of those things, those are different rooms within your home that you must understand how to work with them. Do you understand? Now you have the keys, but when you open those rooms now, inside those rooms, in order to ensure that the rooms are functional, you need to have those skills to be able to manage your finances, to have good communication. And then repair. The repair is in terms of for those that right now it can go in two ways, where in terms of maintenance, to manage your relationship properly before any major damage happens, just to keep it going. Friendship, partnership, and commitment to God were the three that we spoke about. Please watch the full video. And then oneness, which is, and the damage parts in terms of, let's say there's actively issues in the home. There's hope, it can be repaired. Then in terms of oneness, we are all working towards one goal to bring glory to God. And that must be the atmosphere of the home. So that's what oneness is. And that's number 5. So we've come to an end of this session. We've come to the end of the session. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember, except the Lord builds a house, they labor in vain that build it. So you and your husband will be laboring in vain if God is not in that mix with you guys, if he's not there with you guys. All right. So thank you all for being here. I didn't see any questions. So we're going to end the conversation for today. God bless you all. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a question, please, you can book a session and reach out to me. And God bless you all. I pray you all get married to the exact spouse God has designed for you. I pray you will not miss it in marriage, or the person God has made for you. You both come together and build something beautiful that will bring glory to God's name in the name of Jesus. You will not miss it. You will not be wrongfully joined in marriage in the name of Jesus. God bless you all. Thank you all for coming. I'm Eugenia and I'm the founder of Healed Hearts. If you know anyone that needs counseling, premarital, marital, or conflicts management, whatever it might be, like grief, please reach out to me. Please refer them to me. And I do love you all. And bye. All right.